So how do you laser in on your dream client when it comes to content creation? Is it even possible? Can you do it? I'm going to show you our method, and trust me, this thing works. So let's get right into it. Now, if you watched the last video, you'll know that we made up a persona, Dave, the 43-year-old office manager who longs to work in the outdoors and spends all his weekend there. He's got 2 kids and all he wants to do is work outdoors. Now, how do we actually pinpoint him? In the last video, if you watched it, we learned how to actually talk to Dave in his language that we can pull him in to our circle. But now we've got to actually pinpoint him. How do we laser focus in on Dave? If he's at the back of our niche, if he's back here and we know now how to talk to him, how do we actually laser focus our content in on him? And it's actually quite simple. We need to call him out and make it very clear that we're talking to him. So the rule here is, and there's only one rule, is you got to make it small so you can expand. And I know that sounds stupid, but hold on and bear with me. Right. In marketing, there's a thing where if you target everybody, you're targeting nobody. It's the same when it comes to content. We want to target people when we're making content so it actually reaches them, but calls them out. This can happen in many ways. First way is titles and thumbnails. We can call them out right there and then. Second is the intros. And the third is the storylines. And we're going to break those 3 ways down right now. But first, we've got to understand how making something small, we can expand on it. This is where most companies actually fail and fall down. They try and cram everything into one video and it becomes nothing. The video doesn't target their dream buyer. It doesn't target anybody. It just kind of spouts out what the company does, and it's kind of, we do this, we do that, and it's never like, no, I'm talking to you. And that's what we want to do, because the more we can talk to that one person, and other people will be brought in as well, the more we can direct our focus and laser in on what Dave wants. If we're going to break it down really simply, before you even press record, before you even start recording a video, we've got to make it the idea that we have very small so we can laser in and expand on it. And the simplest way for me to explain this is, if you were a car garage and you were looking to sell cars, how would you do this? It's just very obvious when I do it in this way. So instead of me wanting to sell cars, which is the end goal, I want to be able to produce a lot of content to attract different buyers. Because if I make videos called the best car, it really doesn't attract anybody. Instead, if I create a video called the best executive car you can buy, yes, that targets people who want executive cars. Now, if I take that a step further and say the best executive cars you can buy for under 40,000. Now, that really dives in on Dave, our buyer, because he's like, hey, I want an executive car under 40,000. Which one is it? It directly calls out the person that we want. And we can do this in every format. It doesn't matter what service or anything you're selling. Entrepreneur content creator Patrick Bet-David actually in an interview said the exact same thing. He noticed it a long time ago. I noticed it as well. He didn't really start getting traction on YouTube until he actually started calling out his audience. He started putting entrepreneur at the end of each title of the video. So it would be blah, 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 hot topic for entrepreneurs. And this made him explode because he was actually calling out his audience. And you might be thinking to yourself, yes, we do that. But I mean, get laser focused on your audience. Call them out in your titles. And if you're not making content on YouTube and you're making content on other places where they don't have titles, you can do it in your intros. And doing it in your intros when you're coming into the video, you can do it in a question format, in a statement format. You could be like, so What's the best executive car for under 40,000? Let's have a look. Straight away you're going, Dave's like, that's for me. You know, I'm going to watch this. This is how you call out people straight off the bat and make your content applicable to them. It skips all that, you know, introducing yourself, and it gets straight to the point. This is where you can really laser in on your audience and start growing it much more rapidly, because then Dave goes, hey, Mark, did you see this video? You're looking for a car too. Boom. This is where all the good stuff happens. Once we laser in, we can really start to grow. And believe it or not, past that, our mate Dave is going to tell you what content he wants and makes. They start sending suggestions at it. Oh, it'd be great if you could do X, Y, and Z. This would be great if you did this. So they'll actually feed you ideas past that once you start lasering in on them. And you can do this with any service, any company, any product. You need to call it. And the last method is story. The story is the most powerful one, but it's the hardest one to actually pull off correctly. But it's something we've been programmed since birth. Who hasn't had a kid that's like, Daddy, tell me a story, tell me a story. Mommy, tell me a story. They always want a story. We all want stories. We go watch movies. Everything is a story. So if you can incorporate that into your videos, we see these videos do very, very well online when they're story based, but they are the most difficult ones to pull off. So start with the other ones where it's just informational, and then move into the story ones and start testing the story ones. But story based ones are the most difficult to pull off if you're just starting out. It's much easier for you to start out with this laser focus and draw out your Dave. If you can draw out your Dave within a crowded market, you can really home in on him. So in the first video, we showed you how to actually talk to Dave. We showed you the game of Dave not being able to say, so what? And now you're able to call Dave out from the crowd. So with those two pieces in mind, you'll be able to boost your content dramatically. If you are enjoying this and you are learning something and you want to learn more, click the link below. I will leave slots open for a strategy session with myself, and we can come up with a custom plan for your business. Talk to you then. Bye.